Big day around the country when it comes to thoroughbred racing, with superstars stepping out left, right and centre, especially up there in Sydney. Indeed, Evans, thanks to Winning Edge Investments, joins us now to preview the Group 1 George Main and also the Bill Ritchie this weekend up there at Sydney. Hello to you, Dean. Thanks for your time, mate.
Hey, Gareth. How are you going?
Good, thank you. The George Main, is she just a moral, very elegant at $2.10? I thought she'd be a little bit shorter. How have you analysed this contest?
Oh, look, she's a superstar, very elegant. There's no doubt about that. And the George Main is a top horses race. Winks won it 3 times, and Colding and Kermit Bedford Falls have won recently. Favourites have won 7 of the last 9 years, and Chris Waller's won 7 of the last 9 years. So there's certainly a lot in very elegant's favour. She sat wide, no cover, first up in the Winks Stakes. And it was a good run, only narrowly beaten by Moanga, and she won the Group 1 Chipping Norton this track just since second up last prep. But if you look before that, she sort of had 4 Group 1 mile runs, and she narrowly beat Colette in the Chipping Norton last year. But then the George Main, she ran 4th this time last year. Chipping Norton again, she ran 2nd, and the George Main before that, 4th, beaten 3.8 lengths. She's getting better, but if there's one little chink in her armour, sort of the second up run off a 28-day break. She's obviously got bigger fish to fry a bit later in the carnival. She's drawn 2 with Riadini, drawn 1. And I just see Riadini obviously pushing forward on a bit of an average speed with probably the stablemate Shout the Bar sitting outside and Colding sits just behind the speed. And then you'll have Think It Over sitting right there, stalking, probably in the 1-1. And then Very Elegant could just end up sort of hemmed out the back there, 6th or 7th, stuck on the fence. So if they go not too quickly, there's a bit of a sprint home. I think the one that can potentially topple Very Elegant is Think It Over. He's just an excellent mile, middle distance galloper. He just keeps improving his rating every single prep. Culminated in the Throne Group 1 win in the George Rider in the autumn. He had no luck first up in the Winks, and he was only beaten a length. And then he won the Chelmsford second up and really hit the line nicely, running some pretty good late sectionals. He's fitter again here. And I just think he's going to get that jump on Very Elegant in the straight. And if they don't go too quick early, I think, looking at the market with Very Elegant at that sort of even money quote and Think It Over at $4.60, I actually think It Over, the way the map plays out and the way he's going, looks a nice little bet to me. And if you're scared of Very Elegant, you can easily save on her.
So we Think It Over, he was game in victory to get over the top of Riodini, who had the blinkers on and went straight to the front. So from a sectional point of view, did Riodini run solid times out in front, or was that a little bit misguiding because he was out in front all on his own lonesome on that occasion, and he looked like he was going quicker than he actually was?
Yeah, Riodini, they ran 2.9 lengths below par for the first sectional and came home 3.4 stronger. So, Riodini was a really, really good run. And like you say, I think the blinkers going on there and sort of being 4th up, that was a good run. But they did go a bit slower. And they might go at a similar sort of clip here, but I just think It Over, 3rd up now, will be fitter. And so I can see him running over Riodini a bit easier this time than he did last time. And then with Very Elegant, sort of second up off that 28-day break. You might just find it a bit hard to try to run down Think It Over.
What about of course, the other feature race, the Bill Ritchie? It's a fascinating betting race as well. There's a host of chances in this year's Bill Ritchie as well. How do you analyse this contest? Because you've got Private Eye at $4.80, Harmony Rose at $3.20, and Tissue, the former New Zealander, at $4.20 here. And then you have Amaralina, the Kiwi, at $9.50 for Jamie Richards, and Arameo at $8.50. So there's a few chances here. How have you assessed the Bill Ritchie this year?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting race. I think from a betting perspective, I was sort of looking at where there might be some money in the market that might be a bit over bet. And looking at a Tissue, it was one of those sort of runs that, gets everyone sort of sucked in. Last start was obviously something like 19 lengths off the pace, was beaten a length, should have won. There's no doubt about that. But she's a real back marker, and that's to get a long way back on the inside fence. I don't think it's going to be an ideal map for her. So we're going to run in the mile benchmark 88. I decided to go here, probably because she's a mare and it's a bit of black type. So I think there's an opportunity here for a couple of horses in the market. Firstly, I think Harmony Rose looks like she's going really well. She trialled nicely before behind Trevier at Randwick. The closing sectionals were pretty good, the 11th quickest last 600 of the day, and she was under no pressure. She's won 2 from 2 first up over 1,400, and last prep then, ran a good third in the Randwick Guineas second up and second in the Binary third up. She's a really high-quality mare, Harmony Rose, and I think that, she can bowl along either in front or behind Man at Peace, who generally likes to lead and get a nice little suck run straight behind there. I just think Harmony Rose is going to prove really hard to beat. I think Hook Likes with the Tissue and Private Eye could just end up getting a long way back. And that's where I think there is an opportunity with Harmony Rose. The other one I'm really interested in that you mentioned just before is Arameo. He came over from, he was originally an Australian horse as a 3-year-old. He won 2 Group 1s over a mile in Singapore, had 1 prep with Chris Waller last in sort of May, June and ran okay. But his run first up in the tramway was just slashing behind Zaki. He got a long way back, absolutely flew home for second. He's run the 6th quickest last 600 metres of the day and the 3rd quickest last 800. Taking that run on face value, that was really an outstanding performance behind, obviously, a superstar in Zaki and running past some pretty good horses like Star of the Seas and Rock. And I think it's sort of $8.50 Arameo is the other one that looks a strong chance in the race that Chris Waller has a very, very good record in.
Dean Evans with us from Winning Edge Investments. Dean, so just quickly, the Concord, is it Nature Strips race tomorrow in a wonderful field, and for our RSN 927 listeners especially, what's the best way of going about getting involved with Winning Edge Investments over the weekend?
Firstly, in the shorts, it's an outstanding race. I think Nature Strip's undoubtedly the one to beat. It's just such an interesting map. You've got sort of Rothfire, who being so fresh, I think will be handlebars down, going hard. You've got Eduardo, who's going to push forward. It's probably the best barrier horse in Australia, so it'll go forward. I have a feeling they'll just have to take a little bit of a sit on Lost and Running. Then you've got Adelong there that's also going to push forward. The thing about Nature Strip, he's obviously a superstar, but he does generally jump sort of half a length or a length behind them. And in this race, there's sort of 3 or 4 leaders. I just wonder whether we're going to see an interesting scenario where he could end up actually having to take a bit of a sit. And if that's the case, will they go quick enough for him not to pull? He's certainly the one to beat, but I think the value that I see in the race is Eduardo. He flies fresh. He beat Nature Strip first up last prep before dominating them in the Galaxy by 3.5 lengths. 1100 is his preferred distance. He's had 3 trials for prep in prep for this, gone well in all of them. And he ran second this race last year to the Everest Winter Classic Legend after running 3 wide, no cover. I just see him jumping. I see him possibly just sitting outside the leader. And if there's a bit of a funny map for Nature Strip and he's slow away and something doesn't quite go to plan, I think Eduardo's the one who could knock him off.
All right, then, looking forward to that contest. Should be an absolute beauty in the shorts, and Nature Strip is the favourite, but it's such a fascinating race. And what about for our RSN 927 listeners, if we want to get involved with Winning Edge Investments, of course, to help us back a winner over the weekend? Yeah,
just pop down to winningedgeinvestments.com. We've got a promo at the moment. If they type the promo code RSN, they get a 50% ongoing discount for their first membership, and there's just a wide range of ratings and tip services across all horse racing, also a wide range of sports, just to follow Professional Punters and what they're doing and, try to treat your betting like a business.
Yep, love it, mate. Thanks for that, Dean. Good luck over the weekend. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, Gareth. Sounds good. Have a good